Out here. Get out of here, you bum! The tavern patron shouted. Wheeling, West Virginia, my hometown. The others applauded in that tavern. Then, about 5 days later, public notice was given to vacate and to bulldoze tent encampments in Wheeling, West Virginia. Yeah, 5 days later. The Ridge Tavern and Grill co-owner, Mr. Doug Carl, asked me to leave his bar that night. I would not leave. I had done nothing wrong. A paying customer. Mr. Doug Carl, asked me, "What's the point, Howard?" And so I ask you with all due respect, and I show respect even if I don't actually possess it for someone. You getting the point, Mr. Carl? Anyway, walk a mile in my shoes, and good luck. This is what happened that night. And there was a rainstorm, and I really hope people didn't get caught unprotected outside in that rain. It was a very educational experience that night at the Bridge Tavern and Grill, located on Main Street, Wheeling, West Virginia. It takes only a minute to find out what is in the heart of a human being and what they are capable of doing to others. Anyway, I met a good man there that night, first name Bobby, and he worked as a social worker at the YSS for children, helping them to learn life skills that their own parents didn't or couldn't teach them. And that's really important work. Anyway, Bobby said that he lost over 100 pounds after he hurt his shoulder a little over a year ago. From the night that happened. And he's all right now. He's a good man. Bobby. Member of the Snake Club. I sat there quietly at the bar and I sipped a diet soda and I looked at the TV screen and read my AARP magazine. Co-owner Mike quickly informed a customer not to stand at the bar near me due to social distancing rules. COVID. Nobody there was observing those mandates. No masks, no nothing. And that Mr. Mike Carl failed to instruct anybody else to follow those mandates. Anyway, after at least 4 inappropriate, unjustified, and increasingly hostile attempts by Mike and Doug Carl to get me to leave the bar, which I most politely declined, Bobby commented, "They can't do that." I agreed out loud. And before closing time, I cleared away from the bar and I stood at a table quietly. I offered Mr. Doug Carl an additional $2 for another soda, and refills are free of charge there. I guess they informed me this. Change of rules, Mr. Doug Carl said. And he refused my money, would not serve me another soda. Rights? Civil rights? The bar is for alcohol consumers only, he said. Mike repeatedly commented that he only made $2 off me, and I responded in the most polite manner at all times. I thanked Mike politely, and I laid a $1 bill for him on the bar, and I apologized. Mike declined to accept the apology, and he walked towards me from behind the bar and returned aggressively, walking towards me, his $1 gratuity. And then he looked at me in the eyes and smiled. A second time I offered Doug $2 for another soda. He refused service. Mike aggressively, once again, shouted at me, "Get out!" I told Doug politely that I didn't understand why Mike was being so hostile. No response from Doug. I asked Doug why I was being told to leave, and it's closing time, he said. No one else was asked to leave. No one else was asked to leave. Now, I shower at least once every day, and I groom myself, and I always wear clean clothes. Back then. Mike said he was going to call 911, ready to dial on his cell phone in his hand, and Doug stopped him from making the call as, simultaneously, I gave in and I agreed to cooperate and took a step towards the door. I exited as Mike shouted, "Don't come back!" I just sort of was stunned. The Bridge Tavern and Grill patrons erupted with applause as one man shouted for everyone to hear, "Get out of here, you bum!" I heard it from outside after the door had already been locked. I walked home in the dark back to my apartment at Riverview Towers in North Wheeling. And anyway, we have security here in the building often, and I was glad she was there. I offered to get her something from the convenience store across the street, which she politely refused. And anyway, what they did at the Bridge Tavern and Grill was to violate my civil rights, selected me, and ganged up on me, and were quite inappropriately unjustified in telling me to get out of here, you bum. Anyway, I did file a lawsuit, but I was jailed wrongfully and I couldn't show up for my own hearing, so it was dropped. Good one. Wheeling, West Virginia. I love my hometown. It's beautiful. Sometimes people are just unfriendly. Get out of here, you bum. Huh? I see you. Howard out.